Yusuke and Manabu trudge reluctantly to school on the first day back, the battle with DA-5 still fresh in their minds. Yusuke, feeling a bit down, laments his lack of success with the ladies compared to the likes of Rai. The situation worsens when they witness the attention Tao, Takeo, and M21 garner from adoring girls, and Rai's grand entrance only adds insult to injury. In the school halls, M21, Tao, and Takeo, now school security guards, reflect on the unfamiliar world of school life. M21 emphasizes its preciousness, having been a realm they never got to experience. At lunch, Manabu convinces Yusuke to seek Rai's assistance in becoming popular with girls, especially Sarah. The boys reluctantly approach M21, Tao, and Takeo for help, who try to escape the embarrassing task but are roped in by Rai's insistence. Tao's online dating advice turns out to be outdated, and Takeo's attempt at demonstrating asking a girl out leaves him too embarrassed to complete the sentence. Escalating the matter to Franken, the self-proclaimed love expert, yields questionable advice. Seeking a more sensible solution, they turn to Regis, whose indifference to Sarah's romantic inclinations sparks banter between him and M21. Despite their differences, Regis agrees to help. Regis proposes a love letter, but the guy's input leads to frustration. Discarding the paper, Yusuke decides to impress Sarah with his athleticism. A basketball game is concocted in the gym to showcase Yusuke's skills, but it becomes a superhuman showdown, with Takeo stealing the spotlight and winning the game. After school, Yusuke shares with Manabu the potential unrequited nature of his love. Surprisingly, Sarah appears with the discarded love letter, revealing that Rai had secretly saved and shared it. Sarah admires authenticity, lifting Yusuke's spirits. The trio heads to Franken's for dinner, where they're advised to erase their superhuman backgrounds for safety. Initially resistant, Yusuke and Manabu reluctantly agree. Meanwhile, Regis and Sarah's shadowy organization decides to send someone to check on them due to the lack of reports. The plot thickens as the characters navigate the complexities of love, identity, and the mysterious organization looming in the shadows. Jejuro Landiger, Regis' imposing grandfather, makes a grand entrance at the school, immediately catching the attention of Regis, Sarah, Rai, and Franken. The trio of guards, M21, Tao, and Takeo, intercept him at the school's gate. Jejuro, quick to sense their modified nature, doesn't seem pleased with their presence. Regis and Sarah soon join the confrontation, and just as Jejuro is about to unleash his disapproval, Franken arrives to greet him, diffusing the tension. Meanwhile, the clan leaders of Lucadonia convene to discuss the actions of Regis and Sarah, deeming them traitorous. Urga Kinesis Raskraya, the current lord, harbors an inexplicable disdain for Rai. In Franken's home, Jejuro, Rai, and Franken engage in a discussion. Jejuro confirms Rai's return after 800 years and reveals the changes in Lucadonia. The previous lord and older nobles have passed away, leaving Urga in charge. She blames Rai for her father's death, but the reasons remain unclear. Jejuro urges Rai to return to Lucadonia to clear his name, but Rai expresses a desire to stay in Japan a bit longer. Jejuro, still wary of Franken, accuses him of past noble killings. A flashback unfolds, transporting us hundreds of years back to Lucadonia. In a dungeon, Franken is seen torturing and experimenting on noble knights, earning him the title Noble Hunter. Jejuro and Rajek Kersha, another noble, meet with Urga's father, discussing reports of the powerful human Franken killing and kidnapping nobles. Ordered to capture the Noble Hunter, knights pursue Franken, but he easily defeats them. Jejuro and Rajak confront Franken, who justifies his actions as justice against nobles preying on humans. A fierce battle ensues, with Rajak and Franken wielding soul weapons, unique to clan leaders. The clash leads to a cataclysmic explosion. Injured and on the run, Franken leaves a bloody trail that leads him to Rai's nearby home. The intricate past connections between the characters, the political intrigue in Lucadonia, and Rai's mysterious role create a captivating narrative filled with tension and unanswered questions. In a fateful encounter, Frankenstein introduces himself to Cadi's Astromedai Razel, declaring that he is the new servant starting that day. However, Razel, the master of the mansion, insists that no one resides there but himself. Meanwhile, Lord's men arrive, claiming that the Lord orders them to bring Frankenstein due to the trouble he has caused. Unwavering, Razel transforms his old clothes into royal attire and declares that Frankenstein belongs to him, refusing to allow him to be taken away. Fast forward 5 years, Razel meets Jejuro, the clan leader of the Landiger clan, known for his loyalty to the previous lord. Jejuro requests Razel to persuade Frankenstein to accept the Lord's request for an audience, hoping to quell potential conflicts. Frankenstein finally agrees to meet the Lord, who reveals that he and Razel are a pair. The Lord questions Frankenstein about any misgivings regarding Razel as his master, to which Frankenstein replies with a resounding no. The Lord sheds light on Razel's loneliness and his choices, including betraying his fellows, exposing their secrets, and forcing them into servitude. Later, Uruk-hai expresses concern about the danger of having someone like Frankenstein with Razel and suggests getting rid of him. However, the Lord, still wishing for Frankenstein's happiness, refuses. Frankenstein confides in Jegital, sharing that the Lord forces him to deliver messages that receive no response. Jegital proposes a spar, but when Frankenstein mentions Rhaegar, Jegital declines. Shinmo interrupts, mocking Jegital and challenging Frankenstein to a fight. The clash between Frankenstein and Shinmo intensifies, with Frankenstein using his resonate dark spear. Shinmo sustains injuries, prompting Uruk-hai's intervention, who acknowledges Frankenstein's overwhelming power. Razel and the Lord arrive, with Razel using his control to subdue Frankenstein. As Razel pulls Frankenstein away, he falls unconscious. Upon returning to their mansion, Frankenstein regains consciousness and talks to Razel. Razel expresses a belief that they have earned resentment from many and asks Frankenstein to bring tea. Frankenstein adds his blood to the tea, symbolizing their blood bond. Razel proposes exchanging their souls, and Frankenstein, pledging to stay by Razel's side forever, agrees. The intricate web of alliances, loyalties, and supernatural elements weaves a captivating tale of friendship and sacrifice between Razel and Frankenstein. The atmosphere at Rise School takes a dark turn when Rael Kershaw arrives, employing mind control to clear the area of humans. The modified security guards M21 Tau and Takio prove resilient, confronting Rael. However, Rael swiftly stabs M21 in the back before they can react. Regis and Sarah, alerted by Rael's presence, join the confrontation. Despite Regis's efforts, Rael's strength and speed prove overwhelming. He scolds Regis for associating with garbage and only relents when Sarah intervenes, foretelling a future encounter. Back at Franken's home, discussions unfold about the day's events while M21 heals in a special chamber. Sarah reveals her history with Rael, having been proposed to by him. Her rejection led to Rael's rampage, necessitating intervention from Rajak. Rael faced a 10-year confinement and was recently released. Later, Tau and Takio approach Franken, expressing concern for M21 and seeking ways to enhance their strength. Despite Franken's warnings, they are determined to protect their friends and convince him to assist. Meanwhile, Regis privately vows to protect Sarah from Rael. Sarah, however, secretly leaves to confront Rael. Franken, noticing her departure, seeks Rai's permission to follow and help. Rai releases the seal on Franken's power. On the building's roof, Rael expresses a desire to take Sarah away from humans, but she firmly rejects him, asserting her care for her friends. Franken intervenes, wanting to repay Rael for harming school staff. In a fierce battle, Franken keeps up with Rael's incredible speed, even when Rael deploys his soul weapon, Grandia. Franken's dark spear proves formidable, and Regis arrives to assist. Sarah, too, releases her soul weapon, vowing to fight if necessary. Rael, upset, reveals order papers demanding Sarah's return to Lucadomia. Feeling compelled to obey, Sarah leaves with Rael. Back at Franken's home, Regis is distraught, but Franken remains composed, suggesting a journey to Lucadonia to retrieve Sarah and help Jegital. In Lucadonia, Lord Rascriet eagerly anticipates Rai's return, setting the stage for a complex and engaging narrative with the interplay of loyalties, conflicts, and the impending reunion of the characters in Lucadomia. The narrative takes a poignant turn as a flashback unveils Lord Rascriet's earlier years when her father was alive. During this time, she was mentored by Jegital, providing insight into their relationship before she ascended to the position of Lord. In the present, Lord Rascriet interrogates Sarah about Jegital's report, resorting to her mental powers to extract the truth. Sarah, enduring immense pain, withholds her response. Eventually, Lord Rascriet, having pushed Sarah to her limits, ceases the mental assault and orders her imprisonment, echoing Jegital's fate. Meanwhile, Franken, Regis, and Rai embark on a journey to Lucadonia using a private jet. Regis expresses concern for the modified humans left behind, fearing potential Yumian attacks. However, Franken assures him that he provided them with a power-enhancing drug called T2. As they approach Lucadonia, the trio jumps out of the jet, leaving it to crash in the water. In Lucadonia, the clan leaders discuss the unfolding events, troubled by the possibility of Jegital and Sarah's disloyalty. They'd also express concerns about Lord Rascriet's emotional handling of the situation, given her close relationship with Jegital. On the ground, the trio heads to Rai's old mansion in the Forbidden Region. Regis is uneasy, but Rai and Franken seem undisturbed. In the mansion, Rai uncovers his sealed soul weapon, Ragnarok. While Rai and Franken retrieve the weapon, Regis keeps watch outside, noticing the Central Order of Knights scouting the area. In an attempt to prevent them from reporting back, Regis engages the Knights but is outnumbered. However, the timely arrival of M21, Takio, and Tau, now known as RK4, Razel's Knights 4, turns the tide. They defeat the Knights, and RK4 pledges to protect Rai. Simultaneously, Lord Rasgraya learns of intruders in the area and deduces Rai's involvement. Convinced that Jedril is a traitor, she contemplates severe punishment. The clan leaders, however, request leniency, citing their shared upbringing by Jedril. Agreeing to spare him if he confesses, Lord Rasgraya confronts Jedril in his prison cell. As she heads there, memories resurface of her father offering lordship directly to Rai, a revelation that shattered her aspirations. Jedril, feeling shame for his actions, admits to seeing Rai and requests eternal sleep as punishment. Lord Rasgraya, angered by his admission, proclaims the same punishment to the clan leaders. Sarah, hearing this in her cell, breaks free, adding another layer of tension to the unfolding events in Lucadonia. The story takes a dramatic turn as Sarah encounters Rosaria on her way to stop Jedril's forced eternal sleep. Rosaria questions Sarah's escape and offers silence in exchange for her return to the cell, but Sarah refuses, leading to a fierce confrontation. Meanwhile, Jeez and Regis against the Lord's order encounter Rael, who reveals that he sold Syria. Angered by Rael's betrayal, Jeez and Regis confront him, leading to a battle. On another front, Rosaria and Syria engage in an intense battle, both unleashing their powers. Simultaneously, Jeez and Rael clash with Jeez's friends aiding in the fight. Rael employs his Grandia powers and Carias advises Regis to leave Lucadonia. However, Regis, determined to understand his clan leader's betrayal, refuses and accepts Carias' offer to assist if he can graze him in battle. As the battles unfold, Rael's brother arrives, surprising Rael. Frankenstein also enters the scene, shocking Rael. Rael's brother orders him to stay down, emphasizing Frankenstein's formidable power. The two engage in a fierce battle, with Frankenstein's resonant dark spear proving overwhelming. Meanwhile, Lord questions Syria about her escape, and Syria confesses her intention to protect Jedril. Lord, in a severe response, sentences her to eternal sleep. Jedril, arriving on the scene, challenges the Lord, asserting that neither Syria nor anyone else has committed a crime deserving such punishment. He reminds the Lord of Frankenstein's power, equaling that of a superior clan leader. On the other front, the battle between Frankenstein and Rael's brother continues. Frankenstein's dark spear proves overpowering, and Rael offers his own soul weapons to assist his brother. However, his brother refuses, and Jedril reveals the Lord's hatred for Frankenstein due to being offered the position of the next Lord by the previous Lord. Jedril, sentenced to eternal sleep, faces the punishment as Razel arrives on the scene, setting the stage for a climactic confrontation. The climax unfolds as Rai enters the throne room to rescue Jedril and Sarah. Branded a traitor, the clan leaders Kay, Ludis, and Rosaria launch attacks on Rai, one after another and then simultaneously. Despite wielding their powerful soul weapons, Rai effortlessly subdues them with his telekinetic and mind control abilities. Lord Rasgraya herself attempts to defeat Rai using Bloodfield and the Ragnarok soul weapon, but Rai easily cancels out her attacks. When Rasgraya falls into despair, feeling defeated once again by Rai, her loyal servants Kay, Ludis, and Rosaria encourage and support her. Their unwavering loyalty stirs Rasgraya, and she summons her strength to unleash Bloodfield again, this time managing to cut Rai's face. Both Rai and Rasgraya collapse, exhausted, caught by their respective servants. Just in time, Franken arrives to catch Rai. Thinking she has lost, Rasgraya accepts her fate and bows to Rai. Instead of delivering a fatal blow, Rai summons his Ragnarok not for an attack but for the two versions to join together, creating a projection of the previous Lord. The projection reveals the truth of what happened years ago. The previous Lord and clan leaders chose eternal sleep as a way to emulate humans and appreciated their ability to make the most of their short lives. Jedril was spared to care for the next generation, and the secret was kept to spare Rasgraya's father from saying goodbye to his daughter. The revelation transforms the perspective of the clan leaders, and Rasgraya forgives Jedril, freeing him from his shackles. RK4, the modified humans, heal from their wounds and return to Japan with Franken. Sarah and Regis join them to continue their studies. With Rasgraya and Rai finally reconciled, Rai also returns to Japan. The resolution brings closure to the complex relationships and mysteries that unfolded in Lucadonia, marking a significant turning point in the story, and that's how the season comes to an end. Stay tuned for more recaps like these. Peace out.